something that I'm really proud of, that we are called Duke Life, and that name actually comes to us from our students. So before the office existed, there was a Duke Life student organization that still exists, and we essentially grow out of them. They advocated and they did a lot of terrific work, and the administration looked at the work that they were doing and said, you know what, your students, we need to create a professional office with full-time administrators to do some of this work and more for you. And then they asked the students, well, what do you want that office to be called when it exists? And they said, Life. We want them to have the same name that we have. And so that's why we're called Duke Life, which I think is pretty cool. And so Duke Life, my office, what we do, we support the academic success of our first generation low income undergraduates. As I said, 20%, the big chunk of our population here at DukeLIFE students. And we're in an interesting place, I think, organizationally. We're in the Office of Undergraduate Education. So really, that's the academic affairs unit here at Duke. So many other institutions, maybe it exists in student affairs, but we're on a provost line. And our big thing, as I mentioned, is that we really have an academic mission. So after I was in my job about 8 months, the big Office of Undergraduate Education went through a big reorganization. And what that produced was we created divisions, and one of the divisions was called Intellectual Community, and then my office was put in that. And the reason I've come to learn while we were put in that division was because we were charged then with kind of thinking about how we support our first generation students and really their academic experience, right? How do we ensure that they have full access to the curriculum? Again, how do we make sure that they are having the exact same or the opportunities that all continuing generation and more affluent and privileged students are having, so that they can go on to lives and careers and everything after Duke.